I'm going to regret this because I know I'll get more comments than I'll ever be able to handle, even within the first week, but I still want to go over this. Pokemon Black and White recently just launched in America last Sunday, from when this video came out, March 6th. That's, when that came out. So I like to do these What's Your Opinion videos, and I thought, well, it's time to make one for this. I enjoy the Pokemon series, the handheld RPG ones anyway. I usually never touch the spin-offs with the exception of Pokemon Snap. And I thought it was time I went over what they did right, what they did wrong. Now, this is kind of like an unofficial review for me. I have just beaten the Elite Four for the first time, and I'm not going to spoil anything else. However, I will say I like the way how they set up the Elite Four by you can now choose which member you could fight in any order. You can't heal after each one, but, what I kind of like about it is, for the ever since the first one, when the first one came out, Red and Blue and Yellow, it was a brand new experience. But when you got to Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, you start to see all the old Pokemon mixed in with the new ones, and you kind of start losing the feeling of, I want to catch them all. I don't want to dig through all the old ones just to find a new one. With Pokemon Black and White, you don't see any of the old ones. You don't see any from the first, second, third, or fourth generation until after you've beaten the game. So you get this whole new experience of it's a brand new Pokemon that you've never encountered before. And I gotta say, I had a lot of fun finding all these guys and catching them. It definitely recaptured the feeling of the old games. It's hard to capture that first time you play through this, but it's really the best they're ever gonna get at recapturing that feeling, and they do it very well. I personally stopped in every single area to try and catch as many of the new Pokemon as I could. But, I'll go into that little part later. The next one I have to say is the old and the useless abilities that they had in the previous games, like Sturdy and Lightning Rod. Even those got massive upgrades. Lightning Rod. Not only does it take the electric attack, it doesn't do any damage now, and it raises the special attack, making it a far more useful ability than what it used to be, just only used in double battle. Now it raises its special attack, which is a much better feature and something that they should have done the first time, but better late than never. And Sturdy, it acts a lot like Focus Sash, the hold item. I have to honestly say that when I heard that the Pokemon were going to start moving around, I didn't think it was going to be that big a deal, but they did put some nice little touches on the characters and in the Pokemon. Some of them bob their head up and down, they open and close their mouth. Some of them smile, they do a lot of movements. The Pokemon Timber, it throws the wood up in the air and it catches it. It's kind of hard to, I know it doesn't sound like much, but trust me, when you get in there and you start to see these Pokemon in there, you just start to say, wow, they put a lot more effort into the presentation this time. And that's something that was kind of missing from the old games. Another thing I kind of thought was nice is the Pokemon doctors that you'll encounter in the game. When you go through these caves and you go through the mountains and underground areas and things like that, and you wish that you didn't have to leave the place just to go heal your Pokemon. Well, now there are Pokemon doctors stationed in the caves and the mountains and places. You find them, you battle them, and when you win, they heal your Pokemon as many times as you need. So it definitely gets rid of the repetition of having to go back from where you last left off. And for that, thank you. It definitely streamlines the process a lot quicker. I don't have to keep going through this. It may sound easier, but it really just, cutting out the middleman. If you're going to go heal your Pokemon, why would you want to start all over again? That part becomes repetitive, and they kind of cut it out. And I have to say, though, most of the new moves, I'm not that impressed with. When I first found out about them, but because they sounded so weak and it sounded so uninteresting, like workout. It raises the attack and special attack, and to me, I personally don't care for one stat or the other when I'm raising a Pokemon. I'm usually all attack or all special attack. Never have special attack and attack with the same Pokemon, so I thought this was going to be pretty weak, but the moves are actually useful when you're just starting out. Like, I got Panpour, the little water monkey Pokemon, and he could learn Water Gun and Tackle, and if I use Workout, You know, I can increase both of them at the same time, and it's great when you're just starting off. It's very useful, and it helps out a lot, especially for new people who are new to it. Obviously, I'm not new, but I thought that was great that these new moves weren't supposed to be like heavy dealer sweepers, even though that's what I am. I like to use sweepers, but it wasn't exactly meant for that. It was meant for just starting out, making the process a little bit easier for new people in the series, and leveling up the Pokemon, which, you know, works for me. Another great thing that a lot of people are going to notice about, and they've already taken, players already noticed this, is the HMs. You know those hidden machines? Cut, Flash is already gone, but Waterfall and all those kind of moves. Guess what? You rarely ever have to use them. I think I only had to use Cut only in one area. Just one area. So yeah, now you don't even have to worry about that anymore. That's great. You know, you no longer need to have that one Pokemon in there that's just only HMs just so you can get through these areas. It's, you know, thank you. Pokemon Black and White is definitely getting rid of a lot of annoyances that were in the series. But I think the biggest improvement to me, and this is going to sound pretty stupid, but this is what I love most. The TMs, the technical machines, the moves you give to your Pokemon, they never run out. You can keep using it as many times as you want. I get workout, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to use it only once. And then I read it, and it says, you can use it over and over. I'm like, you can use it over and over? Well, thank you! I was pretty ticked when I found out you couldn't transfer items with the Pokemon from the old games, but this completely makes up for it. I mean, I had a lot of great items, I had a lot of Earthquakes, but now it's like, who cares? One's all I need now. I was kind of ticked when I found out I couldn't trade my Lucky Eggs over. I have 3 of them, but the game actually gives you one, and it can give you 2. So, that's not exactly anything to complain about, except for the Master Balls. I wish I could transfer all those over, but, you know, I'll take what I can get. That's one of the few things I didn't like about it, was just that you couldn't transfer those items over. But, you know, that's like one of the only 2 downgrades in this whole entire series that I have. Or this, not this series, but in this generation. The other 2 problems I have with it, when you finally get to meet Zekrom or Reshiram or whatever, however it's pronounced, I don't know, I don't really care. I'll wait for the English dub to tell me. You can't find out what their nature is until it saves the game automatically, and then bam, you're stuck with it for the rest of the game. And I was pretty ticked about that, because natures to me are very important to the Pokemon. The right nature makes all the difference in battles, and I got the white version, I've got Zekrom, and it's timid. And if you know about natures and such, you know that that's probably not a good nature to have for Zekrom. I was kind of hoping maybe I could get Adamant or Jolly, but, you know, if you don't know what timid is, it lowers the attack to raise the speed. Now, I want the speed up, but I didn't want to sacrifice the attack because Zekrom has a higher attack power than its special attack, so I now just got rid of one of its best stats. Great. And now I can't change it unless I want to start a brand new game all over again. No, thank you. The only other problem I have with it is the same problem that everybody else has. When you look at most of the new Pokemon, it's like, it looks like they didn't even have that much thought put into them. Oh look, there's a snowflake. Wow, how creative. Oh look, this one's inspired by a double scoop of ice cream. Oh, what do you know? This one, it takes the form of a trash bag. In fact, that's exactly what it is. It's a trash bag. Trubbish. If you've seen that Pokemon, you know that's what it is. It's a trash bag. What the heck? So I gotta say, most of these guys didn't really impress me that much, though there were a couple of great ones in there. I like my Serperior, even though I'm not that happy with its moveset, I'll take it. Crocodile, definitely awesome. Who else? Granvoltula, or I can't remember it. It's the bug spider Pokemon. It's a bug electric type. Fantastic, I love it. Some of them are great, but then you have the others where you're just like, man, I'll just add it to the collection, that's it. I haven't been able to test out the online part of it yet. I'm not sure how well the Wi-Fi itself has been improved, if you can battle against random people at any time, anywhere. I'm not sure how that works yet, but like I said, I haven't done everything yet. This is like an unofficial review since I don't review handhelds. because I can't get the footage for it. Don't ask about Sonic Labyrinth. I think I already explained that. But yeah, with Pokemon Black and White, all I'm going to say is, if you ever enjoyed any of the Pokemon games, you have to get one of these. You absolutely have to. There is just no exception. Unless you don't have money for it, in which case, save up some money and get it. It is worth it. I'm honestly going to say it is probably the best in the series. I know that sounds kind of fanboyish to say, like, oh, it's a new entry, so it's the greatest. No, trust me, it makes a lot of great improvements to the series, and I can't recommend it enough.